guys, welcome back. This is Josh with the Financial Advisor Car Guy, and today I've got some pretty fun news for you. This car behind me is getting picked up. So it has sold, and it is getting picked up today. In fact, I hear the truck coming, and it's pretty exciting. This car sold to a gentleman in France, and so this car is going international. So hang with me here. I'm gonna try to get some pictures of the process. He's gonna have to load it up with a winch because the brakes aren't working real well, and the battery is dead, so I wasn't able to get it started. But I do have a video of it running. I'll also add that into the video, so hang tight. All right, so a slight turn of events here. The guy's trailer was too big to fit down our alley, so he is going to steer and I'm going to pull, and we're going to take it out to the main street. So here we go. All right, here we go. Winch up onto the truck. Kind of exciting, but kind of sad to see it go. It's been a really fun project, but at the same time, like I've said in prior videos, I'm always looking for the next. And this thing finally got to a point where kind of lost interest, you know, and that's kind of the truth of it. And so off to France it goes. I'm just so excited to see this car go internationally. I think it's going to be really cool over there, and it's going to draw all sorts of attention. And you know, you just don't see a lot of American cars of this vintage overseas, so it'll be very cool. So it's all loaded up. He is getting in his truck. He's gonna start it up and drive off. So this is the last glimpse at this 65 Ford Mustang. It really has been a fun deal. And I'll dive into the dollars here before too long. But you know, what ended up happening was I had to relist the car a third time on eBay. And that was pretty obnoxious. It was super annoying to me. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of money. It costs $25 to list a car on eBay. So 3 times is, you know, 75 bucks, which isn't that much money in the grand scheme of things, but it's a nuisance enough to be, you know, something you don't want to have to deal with all the time. So, all right, so here he's moving. I'm not sure which way he's going to be going, so that's fine. But anyway, long story short, this guy contacted me. He was a runner-up bidder on the second time I sold the car, and he decided that he had to have it, and so he contacted me outside of eBay. I had a quick question about getting the heck out of my neighborhood, but you know, the way that ended up working was we had to communicate through email, and it wasn't even until 3 or 4 emails in that I learned he was overseas. And so it was kind of a weird deal. You know, you immediately think fraudulent activity when someone says, hey, I'm in Europe and I want to wire you some funds for this car that you know, tried to sell on eBay. And, you know, so long story short, it ended up being a totally legit deal. The guy has a car lot in France. So he imports roughly 100 to 125 cars a year and buys them here in the US, where he looks for the right deal and imports them to France. He does whatever work is necessary to get it totally dialed in the way he wants. And then he lists it on his website at his car lot. I'm gonna find his page on Facebook because that's how I found him accidentally the first time. And you know, I'll kind of watch the progress. I'm sure he'll He'll need to fix a few little things here and there, and you know, that's okay. So the car's officially gone. I've got some money in my pocket, and again, starting to kind of look for that next project. I don't know what that looks like just yet. I'm heading out of town next week, so that's going to be put on hold anyway. But you know, in the meantime, share your thoughts, concerns. I'd love to hear what you guys would love to see me build, and we'll go from there. But you know, one project checked off the list, which is always a good feeling, and moving on to something different. So after I wrapped up this episode, I thought about it to myself a little bit and decided that I'd probably need to insert some sort of segment about costs into the vehicle. And so here we are. What I ended up doing was pulling the spreadsheet off my iPad of what I'm into the car. And so I'm gonna kind of share that with you, and then I'll talk about what the car sold for on eBay each time and what we ended up settling for outside of eBay. So the car itself I found on Craigslist about 1.5 years ago. And it was maybe 40 miles away from here. It was in a small town, and I kind of lowballed the guy. He was asking $3,500. I offered him $2,500, but it wasn't in running condition or anything, and so I'd need to rent a trailer and all sorts of stuff. So we ended up settling on $2,900 delivered. So that was a screaming deal. You're not going to very often find a very complete car for $2,900, at least a 65 Mustang. So that was kind of the basis. And then from there, I bought a new fuel pump, a fuel filter and hoses. That came to about $40, a new battery. I put some hood pins. I bought new wheels and tires and wheel adapters, and then those had to be mounted and balanced. As you saw, I put the fender flares on the car. The side scoops, the stripes, the hood scoop. Internally, I did kick panels, armrests, a new carpet kit, an upholstery kit, and steering wheel cover, the heated seats. Let's see, I bought an entire brake kit, which included all sorts of, you know, the brakes themselves, but also the master cylinder, the wheel cylinders, all the hardware for that. Let's see, what else? So upper ball joints, tie rods, lower control arms, sway link ends, a quarter patch panel for that dent in the bottom quarter, which I never did replace, but the panel goes with the car. You know, all sorts of random odds and ends, clips, and, you know, all sorts of undercoating and primer and paint. And you know, what I should probably do is show you guys a picture of the process of painting as well. You know, again, I know in my first video about this car, I did post a quick picture of what the car looked like the day it was delivered and when it came off the trailer. And you know, it was kind of that pale blue color. It was an original Ford color, but that was a respray. It was actually gold underneath. And you know, I sanded the car, got it in a fresh coat of primer, and then painted it red, and then did all the accessories, all the stripes and all the other bolt-ons and stuff like that. So yeah, it was a lot of fun from start to finish. Again, it's a car that I'm gonna miss, but it was also a car that kind of was at a standstill. You know, it was ready to go. There were a couple little things here and there that I could have tweaked and finished, but at the same time, I wanted to move on from that car. Again, we're in the middle of winter, there's snow on the ground, and it's just not an ideal time of year to have a car sitting outside, and I can't work on it when it's outside, it's wet and all those things. So it made great sense for me at this point to just part ways with it. You know, at the end of the receipts here, I totaled into the car about $5,000, rounding up, but you know, $2,900 for the car, a little over $2,000 worth of parts, and that includes wheels and tires and all that stuff. You know, one thing that I'm really cautious of is, you know, exceeding budget. And so if there's something that I want to buy for the car that's maybe a little more expensive than I anticipate going in, then I try to sell off some of the existing parts. And so for this car, the only real things that I was able to sell were the wheels and tires that it rolled in on. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I parted ways with. There really wasn't. A couple of pieces of trim and things like that I pulled off the car to replace with new stuff. Was still in okay enough condition that I could recondition it and then sell it. But for the most part, the wheels and tires were about the only thing. So about $2,000 in parts. And I did the labor myself, just about all of it anyway, and then painted it myself and have the equipment to do that. So that wasn't an extra expense or anything, but still wanted to make sure that, you know, we're cost effective and we're staying on budget. So it ended up coming to just shy of $5,000 after fees and after expenses of having the car listed and for sale and everything. I cleared $2,500. And so, you know, 50% profit on a car is great. I only had it a year and a half. I enjoyed the heck out of it, and I spent a lot of time working on it, but it, you know, something I enjoy doing in the evenings. I'll come out to my garage for a couple hours here and there and, you know, tinker. So I had a blast with it. It was a great deal, you know, on the way in, on the way out. Somebody else got a really good deal. I kind of anticipated the car would sell closer to, you know, $9,000 or $10,000. In fact, the first time I listed it on eBay, it did end at $9,000. The second time I listed it, it ended at $8,250. And the third time I listed it, it actually had less bids, less views, less watchers. It ended at $7,800. And so that's what, you know, I kind of agreed to this guy in France off of eBay to that price. And, you know, from there, again, there were some fees in PayPal transactions and the eBay fees and all that stuff. But, you know, clearing $2,500 is not a bad day. And, you know, my thoughts are if I could take that $2,500 and put that as the money out of my pocket initially to buy into the next vehicle, and then kind of budget the build from there, we'll be doing okay. So anyway, that's enough on that. I just wanted to share those numbers with you guys. And again, if you have questions or comments, by all means, please post them below or shoot me an email at facarguy@gmail.com. Thanks again for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell. And until next time, may every investment you make be a good one. Thanks.